You know, when you dive into Tolkien's world, almost everything has a place. There's an order, a reason for being, a beginning. But then there's Ungoliant, a creature so bizarre, so fundamentally wrong, that she seems to break all the rules of reality itself. So today, let's try to unravel the mystery of this thing that really shouldn't exist.
She has a few names, but honestly, none capture just how unnatural she is, quite like the Weaver of Unlight. And we're not just talking about regular darkness here. She didn't just cast shadows. She was actively weaving a tangible nothingness, an anti-light that literally devoured everything it came into contact with.
And just look at this contrast. It says it all, right? We can trace the family tree of all the other big bads. Sauron, the Balrogs, they were once good angelic spirits who fell from grace. They have a backstory. But Ungoliant, a total blank. Just a giant, terrifying question mark standing completely outside the food chain of Tolkien's world.
And that is the billion-dollar question. It's a puzzle that Tolkien never explicitly solves for us in the books, but if we piece together the clues, we can get to a pretty compelling theory about what she really was.
Okay, so to even start to answer that question, we first have to get our heads around just how much of an anomaly she truly was. We're not talking about just another monster. Ungoliant was a fundamental violation of how the world was designed to work. So here's the key thing to remember. Tolkien's universe is all about order and lineage. Orcs came from elves, the greatest evils came from the angelic Ainur. There's a chain of being, a divine org chart. But Ungoliant, she just seems to pop into existence. She has no place on this chart, and that's what makes her so incredibly scary. And this leads us to what I think is the most profound theory about where she came from, that she wasn't born in the world, but from the very conflict that sparked its creation.
To get this, we have to rewind all the way to the beginning, before time, before anything. The universe, Arda, was literally sung into being. These angelic beings, the Ainur, created this great music, a cosmic harmony that brought forth everything good and beautiful.
But, of course, there was one, Melkor, the most powerful of them all. He decided he didn't like the main theme, and he started to weave his own jarring, ugly music into the song. It was this loud, vain, clashing dissonance against the creator's beautiful harmony. This was the first moment of evil entering creation. Now, this primordial discord wasn't just a bad sound. Think of it more like a metaphysical crack in the very foundation of reality. It's the friction between the is of creation and the is not of Melkor's rebellion. And this, right here, is the heart of the theory. Ungoliant wasn't a fallen singer in that cosmic choir. No, she was the conflict itself, given form. She was the static, the feedback generated by those two opposing frequencies, a cosmic glitch, a bug in the code of reality that was never meant to exist, let alone take on a hungry physical form. So if she was born from this cosmic static, what did that actually make her? What could she do? Well, let's look at the architecture of Unlight to really understand how her strange origin defined her terrifying powers. This is such a critical distinction. The darkness Ungoliant produced wasn't just a shadow. It was unlight, a real, tangible substance. Tolkien calls it a web of gloom. And it didn't just block your vision, it actively choked light, and it strangled your spirit. It was the physical manifestation of nothingness. And this all leads to the devastating logic of her entire existence. Okay, follow me here. 1. She's born from the void. 2. That means she's missing the flame imperishable, that divine spark of creation that all other true beings have. 3, without that spark, she's literally a metaphysical vacuum at her core, a hole in reality. And what's the consequence? An endless, gnawing, insatiable hunger that can never, ever be filled. This is why her hunger was never just about biology. She wasn't trying to survive. She was trying to consume being itself to fill the non-being at her core. I mean, when she devoured the light of the 2 trees of Valinor, she wasn't just getting a big meal. She was trying to absorb the very idea of light into her void. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool theory, but the strongest evidence for this whole void spirit idea comes from her relationship with the first Dark Lord, Melkor, because unlike every other evil thing, she served no master but her own bottomless hunger.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Sauron, the Balrogs, every orc, they were all servants or slaves to Melkor's will. They followed a chain of command. Ungoliant? Nope. She was beholden to absolutely nothing but her own emptiness. The timeline of their alliance is just incredible. Melkor, the most powerful being in the world, has to negotiate with her. He has to bargain. He is afraid of her. And then, after she feasts on the light of the trees, she gets so unbelievably powerful that she actually attacks him. She was never his servant. She was a force of cosmic consumption he barely managed to point in the right direction for a little while. This is the ultimate proof that she was something else entirely. The master of all evil, the guy who started the discord in the first place, was almost erased from existence by the very thing his rebellion helped create. It's a shocking reversal of power that shows she was something completely and utterly alien. So what happens to a creature that's nothing more than a hole in reality? What's the final fate for a being of pure, infinite hunger? Well, her end is just as telling as her beginning. So, just to recap the big ideas here, Ungoliant isn't a fallen angel. She's a personified glitch in creation. She's basically the antimatter to the matter of Arda. And their goals were completely different. Melkor wanted to rule the world, to dominate it. Ungoliant just wanted to consume it all, to make everything as empty as she was. So, legend says that after being driven into the desolate, forgotten south of the world, her endless hunger finally ran out of things to devour. There was nothing left. Nothing left to feed the void. And this is the chilling but perfectly logical end to her story. With absolutely nothing left to consume, what does a being of pure hunger do? She turned on herself. A creature defined only by lack ends in total self-negation. The hole in reality turned inward and simply erased itself from existence. It's the most horrifying and the most fitting end imaginable.
So does that horrifying end prove she was the ultimate void? The perfect conclusion for a cosmic glitch in the system? Or is it possible she was something else? Something so alien we don't even have the words to describe it. It's a question that makes her one of the most truly fascinating and terrifying creatures in all of fiction.